afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another segment of The Center Circle. My name is Mazunda, and thank you for joining me today. I had to end that live video because of network. So I'm hoping that this time is going to work. So please interact with us. I am with Reggie Ndlovu today. So interact, send me all the questions, just comment below, and then I will see all of your questions, and then Reggie and I will be talking about those questions. So today we'll be talking about all things commentary, acting, and coaching. So you might know Reggie from Supersport. He's no stranger to the screens also. He was on Rhythm City, Generations. So today we're gonna get to know the guy. We're gonna get to know him a little bit better. So remember to always like, tell your friends to follow me or follow Reggie at @Mazunda or at Reggie Mapensela 11. So I'm gonna quickly add Reggie. I hope the network does not disappoint me this time. Hey. I'm back. Hi.
Hopefully it's going to be good. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Yay! It's working. God. Hey, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's a pleasure. I know you've always wanted this, and it's always been about getting the right time. So I think this is the right time.
Awesome, man. So let's talk about how you grew up. Where are you from, and how did you grow up?
I was born in Soweto. I grew up in Mfulo, Central Western Jabavu. That's where I spent the first 5 years of my life. And then from there, we moved to KZN, to my mom's place. There's a place called Imutu in KZN. So, Newcastle, before I went to study at the...
Nice. And where did you go to school? Which school did you go to?
Dandi Primary School. Primary School in Mutu. I finished off in Newcastle. There's a school called Mzamo High School in Newcastle before I went to Durban University of Technology.
So what is the one thing that is too memorable for you when you were growing up? What's that one memory?
I grew up playing football, so I think being on the pitch, playing soccer, it was always lovely, Hence, even when I didn't get that opportunity to play professional, I told myself that one day I have to be involved in football. It doesn't matter how, as long as I'm part of football.
So talking about playing football, you still play yourself, right?
Yeah, I still play.
And you coach. So let's talk about... Oh, you still play and coach?
Yes.
So let's talk about that transition from just growing up, playing soccer, and getting involved in such a great initiative. I know you have a team also that you're coaching. So let's talk about that.
The team is called Nandi Stars. It's a team of young boys. Most of them are currently doing matric at the moment. And we are participating in the local football association as Eldorado Park. Look, growing up, not being able to make it professionally, because I had to go to school. I think another thing that made it difficult for me to make it professional was the fact that I didn't know where to go, So with the platform that I have now, I can try by all means to recommend those young boys who okay, do this, do that, go and knock there. So coming up with a team, I did that so that I can be able to help take the young boys away from the streets, because these days, young boys, they are always out there on the streets. Most of them, they end up in jail because they have talent, but no one is monitoring their talent, So that's the reason why I decided to say, let me just come up with a team try to push the boys, because at the end of the day, they have to put food on the table for their families. Kunzima ukuthola umsebenzi these days in South Africa. So, omunye basebenzisa talent lakhe so that they can be able to put food on the table.
So I know you studied acting and coaching, right?
Yes, I studied television drama and production, which basically deals with acting and directing. And then when it comes to coaching, I have a D license, which is the entry level of coaching.
So how did that decision come about for you to study that particular course?
Which one? The acting one?
The acting one, yes.
You know, at school I was doing a lot of things, eh?
Yeah.
They knew what my actor on stage, my so it was a lot of things. Initially, I wanted to study tourism because I was good at tourism, but the department yet drama responded first. So I said, why not? I want to do auditions, and they took me in, and that's how I got to study acting and directing.
So, Mapensela, let's talk about the name Mapensela. How did you get that name?
The name Mapensela came through Ebola because I'm a left-footed player, and you know.
Yeah.
So we are pencil, you know. They used to say we are pan, you know, I'm a pencil. So I used to dribble a lot. I'm really cooler. Then I realized with Ebola it's a team sport, you know. But even Namanje, Moses, why not? Maybe happy hour then say pencil.
So, do you ever, now that you've done with studying, you are pursuing your acting career and also commentary, do you think if you were given an opportunity to play professionally, would you take it?
To be honest with you, I would. But the problem is that I've fallen in love so much with the commentary that I don't want anything to disturb me, you know, looking at the career of a commentary. But if an opportunity was presented to me to say, come and be part of football again, come and play, as long as the team is going to allow me to go and commentate on the games that I'm needed to commentate, then I'm good. I can play and commentate at the same time.
So prior to the lockdown, let's talk about the team that you helping coach. Prior to the lockdown, you guys were #1 on the log. Is there a point in time where you guys felt discouraged given the pandemic?
Not really, because there's a group that we have, you know, for the team, and that is where we always try and encourage the boys. It's going to be okay. Everything's on standstill right now, but it's you know. And looking at the fact that the team, it was the first year, Abafana Bay together, you know, and we pushed them for a pre-season, hence they are on #1 on the log. I think for them, they've done well. Now it's up to us to try by all means to push them and try by all means to get our contracts for them. So we always encourage them. It's not because of you guys, but you see more as a country. You know?
So let's talk about your acting career. So I want to tease you a bit. Between theater and TV, which one is your favorite?
I'd go for theater. You know, with the theater, once the show starts, there's no cut, there's no taking. Throughout, if you make mistakes in between, you have to improvise. With the TV, I feel like a lot of people are relaxed. Eh? You get there, mess up your lines, it's okay. We'll pick up maybe from shot 10 to shot 20, or maybe we'll see it on take 2. They are too relaxed. So a true performer for me comes from the theater. So hence I always prefer it first before TV. I'm not taking anything away from TV because I'm still part of the television acting, but theater is my #1.
So when did you start acting?
Professionally or just acting?
Just acting.
Just acting, I started when I was doing grade 8. It was 2003. Now I'm revealing my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was doing grade 8, I remember when you say high school, and there used to be school competitions, you know.
Yeah.
And the series are sketch, you know. We were just those guys who were funny, you know. And they would know what okay, act sketch. And this might touch the current all the time, and it is something that we can make a living out of, you know. So I started acting in 2003 on my first year high school, and ever since then, I never looked back.
Right. So let's talk about the shows that you've been on. You've been on Generations, you've been on Rhythm City. How do you then prepare for such characters? Because it's two different characters and you're this funny guy. How do you prepare for such?
I think studying television drama and production DUT, it prepared me a lot, because when you study theater, they teach you how to get into different characters. First things first, there's something that is called a character bio, where they're going to tell you, Uchi, you're going to play Ujomo. Let's say Ujomo is a 22-year-old. Ujomo loves football. Ujomo will do anything just to make sure he goes and play football. So already that shows you character. And then you as an actor, you have to sit down and observe soccer players. How do they behave? How do they walk? Even my hairstyles, wow, you know, even in lifestyle, yeah, soccer players. And then you have to try and adapt that and get into character. Bring all those things. Now you're going to see me saying, you know, when I'm going to play Jomo, because it's a hairstyle that is common in football. You're going to see me now changing the okay, I'm creative web, no mzis on his feet. You know, so I think it helps to get to understand the character bio, which what does the character needs, and then try and adapt and collect a lot of things who's finding character anyway.
So let's talk about commentating now. When did you start developing your love for commentary?
Hey, I was still young. I think growing up in Makaya, we were exposed more to radio than television. Because I remember Makaya didn't have DSC, you know. We used to go and buy battery P10, if I'm not mistaken. Or started battery in the motor, some charges it down, we pay for it, and then we come back, we plug the radio. We used to listen to Ebola, you know, and I fell in love with the commentary. After listening to Ebola, and then I started imitating the commentator. Now, when I got to a university, when I was introduced to television commentary, there was this voice that people saying, I was like, who's this guy? You know? And then that's where I fell in love with the commentary television after hearing about it. And we would commentate and make you feel like you are part of the game, you know?
Yeah. So, when was your first break of commentary?
My first break of in commentary, it was in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in 2015. I was working at SABC Gumubango behind the scenes. When I got Gumubango, it was in 2012 after I had graduated. And then I said to myself, okay, now I'm at the SABC inside the building. Let me just go to SABC Sport and ask for an opportunity to be a commentator. I got there. I told them, good guys, I'm a commentator and I'd like to get an opportunity. Even if you guys have to audition me, it's okay. You know, and then he said, but you are young. Why am I schooling? I told him, no, I just graduated. So, you know, after you graduate, you know, fresh, you are hungry for this thing, you want to listen, you know. And I told him, no, I graduated. He just looked at me and then he left. I was left there, standing there, you know, thinking to myself, it's okay, it will never happen. And then I left. 3 years down the line, they were doing AFCON, if I remember very well, 2015. There was Gloria Brown, no, Daisy Kitty. They were doing an off-tube. They were commentating in studio. I got there. I look at these people. They are doing something that I like. I asked them, okay, what do I do in order to get where you guys are? They told me to go back to the head office and tell them that I want to be part of the team. The very same person who shut the door was there. But this time I spoke to someone, you know. That someone else said to me, listen, we don't have a commentator at the moment on SABC One. And then he told me, Uti, in 2 weeks' time, sizokwenza auditions. So just take my number, call me, and then from there, I'll give you an opportunity to audition. There was hope. I left, kept on working behind the scenes. 2 weeks down the line, until I got the call, I went there to audition. Now, most of the auditions, we were shooting in location, and we were shooting SON to a Nasemaponya Mall. But now, luckily, the director was one. So I told him, good, I can't make it to set. I need to go and audition,
Yeah.
So I tried to find something else was up for me. And then I went to audition at SABC. My auditions went well. But guess what? I spent 3 months not knowing what's happening. I lost hope. I thought to myself, I didn't get it. Then after 3 months, I got a call from Utina. There was a lady called Utina at SABC. When Utina called me, she was like, when are you coming to sign your contract? I'm like, what contract? Because I'm at work, Then she broke the news to me. Look, you made it. You are the new IsiZulu commentator for SABC 1. Good luck. So ever since 2015, I told myself, I'm not going to look back. I have to take it and run away with it.
Wow. Talk about the light at the end of the tunnel. Man, that is an interesting story. So we have a question from, hold on, from Reggie Ndlovu. She says, who and what inspires you?
First things first, my family inspires me. I know it when I work hard so that others are right, Because you have to understand, most so being a father to your daughter, being a father, because everyone is looking at you. So if I'm inspiration, and that is why I always make sure that when I work hard for them.
Yeah. So you were talking about when you started commentary, you were listening to the likes of Ubaba Mthethwa. Now that you get to work with him side by side at most times, how is that for you?
When they say dreams do come true,
yeah.
Let me tell you a story. I grew up watching Upumuzo Manenze. Upumuzo Manenze is my mentor right now. I grew up watching him at the Pirates, and then I got to work with him. I grew up listening to Baba Mthethwa, and now I'm next to him. The day I met Baba Mthethwa, I was doing my first Kaizer Chiefs game at FNB Stadium under SABC. It was Kaizer Chiefs versus Stars. It was a game where Ushabalala scored a beautiful goal outside of the 18 area box, if I remember very well. So, when I figure FNB Stadium, everyone is greeting. Hey, Baba, now you're on the sea. Hey, but how do I approach him? Just to tell him, thanks for your inspiration.
Yeah.
I told myself, let me just go to him. I've got nothing to lose. If we are because I never was to know. But funny enough, cool guy, I got there, as introducer. Hi, I'm so and so. I grew up with you, and I just want to say thanks for your inspiration because I just broke through, and I just want you to know I look up to you. You know what he said to me? Because we were outside. He said to me, I'm humbled. Yeah. Just do me a favor. Go and prepare for the game. When you're done, come to me. I'll talk to you. I've got something to say to you. It was his first time meeting me. They ran an ass. But after preparing for the game, just come to me. I'll tell you something. I got there on my advice. He gave me his number. Meeting me for the first time, and then he gave me his number. And he said to me, one day, you're going to be big if you take each and everything that I'm saying to you. And ever since then, we've been like this,
Wow. Wow, man, that's amazing. We have a question here. Okay, before I ask you that question, you talk about working with Mubango behind the scenes and Pumuzo being your mentor. the circle of vendor people? There's just this thing about you when you talk about vendor people, you lighten up. And is it safe to now say being in vendor in Toronto, commentary there, is it just a different feel, or is it just like any other stadium for you?
I have a soft spot for vendor speaking people. I'll tell you why. My first breakthrough was on Mubamo behind the scenes. Dr. Reggie Ndlovu gave me a chance because he saw someone who was fresh from school, and he thought to myself, I can train this guy to be a director. I can train this guy to do continuity, to be an assistant director, you know. So working behind the scenes with Mubamo, I got to learn this vendor. Meeting Pumuzo Manenze, he made sure that my vendor, you know, because somewhere, somehow it was, you know. So being a vendor, it always gives me this thing, I feel like I'm at home, you know, because with Umubamo, we would go there and shoot locations, and you would see Masfigala Umubamo. The receptionist, it was special because they appreciate what they see on TV. They appreciate the fact that we learn their culture. They appreciate the fact that we learn their language. So for me, being in vendor, doing my games at Black Leopards, I feel like I'm at home, you know. I'm hoping and praying Black Leopards in Apumi, because one day in Yafisu weather event at time where you find out the Black Leopards playing against TTM, trust me, it's going to be fireworks.
So Unumfundo _Ngoop says, how do you come up with nicknames of the players?
When it comes to my nicknames, I've got a list of nicknames that I always draft down. And I also have a list of my terms that I always draft. And then I have to look at each and every player, like how they play, you know, and then end up coming up with my nicknames. But some of them I use surnames or amagama wabo. Excuse me. A simple example, like Ben Mutswari, you know, I always say Ben Mutswari, you know, because Mutswari. So some of them I have to look at their surnames and see what do they rhyme, and then that's how I get to come up with the nicknames.
Interesting, because someone was just doing a bit of commentary here, Galebasa. Don't you want to like give us a line?
Partner special. Yeah, I call it partner special because if someone asks you, what's your identity, Ulipasa gives you a special nafezu. So you want my identity? I'll give you the identity with something special on top of it. So that's how I came up with the nickname Zakele Pasa. I ended up calling him a partner special.
Nice. So let's go back to you studying acting and directing. Do you think, in your opinion, do you think that one day you would give us something that you've directed, either be it in sports or just your life in general? Would you like to direct something?
I've directed a kids show called Riboningo. It used to play on SABC2. I directed a lot of episodes on that show. My recent work was a short film that I directed in Botswana. It was called The Birthday. Unfortunately, it won't be showed here in South Africa because it's a production in Botswana. We have a relationship with Limpopo University in Botswana, of which each and every year we always try and go that side to do workshops, to direct, you know, and make sure we leave whatever knowledge that we have to them. So moving forward, I would still like to see myself as a director, and hopefully one day I'll give you guys a full movie.
Good. So what is the one thing or one advice that you would give someone that's trying this commentary industry?
To someone who's trying to break into the commentary industry, first things first, you are working for the people. And it's not everyone is going to be happy for the fact that you are doing the job that you are doing. I'll tell you something. I was doing a game between Baroka and Orlando Pirates this season. The game was in Polokwane. Pirates were leading at halftime. And this guy comes to me and says on Twitter, "You are doing a great job," you know. At the end of the game, Baroka had equalized. It was 2-2. The very same guy came back and said, clearly you hate Orlando Pirates. Now, some supporters watch football. When the team is doing great, the commentator is good. But when the team is doing bad, the commentator is bad. So if you want to be a commentator, we have to develop a thick skin because each and every person will want to come at you. They don't care. There are people who are negative in such a way that all they want is to get data so that they can be able to bash you and make themselves feel better. For whatever reason, for whatever they have, you know. So you have to develop a thick skin. You have to know, as much as you respect each and every person, but you understand? Two, you have to respect each and every person that you meet because they are the very same people that go in and tune in. We have 3 language options. There's English, there's isiZulu, and then there's isiSotho. The fact that people are able to choose your language options, it means there's something that you are doing. Last but not least, you have to make sure that you have the information. You have to know what's happening around the sport as a whole. And you have to make sure that you invest in your craft. Sit down, listen to all the commentators, and think to yourself, what is it that I can come up with at different, far away from each and every commentator. I decided to go with my nicknames because I could tell when I'm listening to each and every commentator, okay, if everyone is saying 10 Mikosi Lodge, 10 Mikosi Lodge, 10 Mikosi Lodge, I mean, each and every game that you listen, everyone 10 Mikosi Lodge, everyone 10 1. Then I decided to say, you know what, let me just come up with nicknames. 10 Mikosi Lodge, SMS Shake My Soul. Everyone knows, Marut, SMS Shake My Soul. It comes from who? Vincent Poole, Shoni Samashoni, It has to be something different from each and every person. So people must always strive to make sure that they are different and they take a different route, even though we are in the same career path.
Right. So we are celebrating 10 years since we've hosted the FIFA World Cup. I know you shared a lot of pictures on social media platforms where you were at the stadiums. What is the most memorable thing that you remember about 2010? Except for the shower goal.
It is that goal. But for me, I think I watched Portugal. I also watched Netherlands. But in most cases, I was in Devon. I couldn't watch a lot of games because I was doing my second year at varsity. And, when you study drama, you have to rehearse so that who's always going to perform. Especially because it's theater. In theater, you can spend 3 months rehearsing a show that you're going to perform, maybe 5 days, Can't go TV, you just get there, you rehearse once, and then you do 3 takes, and then you're done. So I remember I was in Durban. I spent most of the time in my fan parks, watching games because of my rehearsals. I couldn't go to a stadium. Sometimes I was my games so apparent, my fan parks because of my rehearsals. So the fact that we hosted the World Cup as a nation, I think that on its own is one of the best memories. But that Shaba goal,
that was So, since we've started the show, everyone is like, please give us a line, give us a line. Before I let you go, can you please just give us a line?
What line do they want?
I don't know. There's a lot. Okay, you've done the one, Shook My Soul. And then, I think that's the one they like. Oh, Kune. The Kune. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you three names that will come in mind. I'm trying to think of a vendor. Okay, you can give us one in vendor, whatever you want to say in vendor. And Shake My Soul. No, not Shake My Soul. Kune, yes. And okay, there's a player here. Hold on. Sitelo Katswai. Yeah, do something with
Well, obviously, he's called Mzansi's number one, Mzansi's finest, for obvious reasons. Having played the World Cup, having won trophies with Kaizer Chiefs, having been part of Bafana Bafana. So each and every time when he says, obviously, I always say, Window Takuni, of nicknames, that people are loving. all I can say is that if you cancel the subscription because of Ebola, make sure the subscription is active. Make sure it was bought for, and language option 2, you'll get each and everything that you're looking for.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me. It was a pleasure having you. No, wait. Now that we go back, the league is resuming on the 8th, bruh. Listen, handouts. Which game will you be on?
I'll only announce when the time is right. So I'll be able to post on social media which game I'm doing and at what time. But for now, can I please,
reserve it?
Please.
Understandable. There's like my people on the intro line. Is it we are live in HD.
The intro line is you might be saying how much is it as man can get him a samba we are live as a coma, we are in HD, it's a open and exclusive super sport form. I'm with the World of Championship.
I'm trying not to laugh, but like it's so different when I see you and when I hear you, man. Oh my God! Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me, and I wish you all the best of luck going forward. And we look forward to hearing you again.
No, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me, and soon everyone should just tune in. Let's all go out there and have fun. Thanks a lot. And to everyone who supports Umsebenzi Wami Baba Mthethwa and I have started a clothing line that we are busy with, so people can easily visit our social media pages and then they'll be able to see what they can get for themselves.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, that was Reggie. My goodness, so much wisdom, so much things that he spoke about. There's a lot that he spoke about, given the fact that we must always keep on pushing and always work hard towards our dreams. So, thank you so much for watching me today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for always making sure that you share our work. From me to you. Bring in the noise, and I will see you next week. Bye.